Happy early birthday to Carol Burnett. Hello, darlings, and welcome to Performance Perspective, where we watch different performances and then share our perspectives. If you're new here, hi, I'm Cara Darling, and if you're not, you know what? Welcome back. If you like musical theater, I have a feeling you'll like this channel, so don't forget to like and subscribe. But anyways, listen, this is all about like my queen, my hero, my everything, my Jimmy Stewart. I'll get into that later. But listen, Carol Burnett's birthday is April 26th, which is, I believe, this Wednesday. And there is a show coming out called 90. Can you believe it? She's going to be 90. Like, yes. It is 90 years of laughter. It's 90 years of laughter and love. It will be on NBC, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You know I'll be there. And also, if you don't have that channel and you have Peacock, it will be on Peacock the next day, which, yes, I will probably be watching it over and over. Let's get into this episode. Welcome to the world of Carol Burnett, a name that needs no introduction. I mean, the American actress, comedian, singer, and writer has been entertaining audiences for over 6 decades, from her famous variety show, The Carol Burnett Show, to her iconic roles in movies like Annie. She won hearts with her humor, charm, and impeccable acting skills. In this episode, we will take a dive into the life and career of this legendary performer. So sit back and get ready to be entertained by the one and only Carol Burnett. This episode will have 3 acts to it. In the beginning, Act 1 will be all about her life and legacy. Act 2 is us, reacting to her performance as Winifred in Once Upon a Mattress on stage. And Act 3, well, hopefully, I'll be able to get through it without crying. Oh, okay. And don't let gosh, it's like get it together, right? Every time. But Act 3 is about the time I actually met Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett was born on April 26, 1933 in San Antonio, Texas. Her upbringing was marked by tragedy and difficulty. Her parents divorced when she was young, and her mother struggled with alcoholism. Burnett and her younger sister were raised primarily by their grandmother in Hollywood, California. Despite financial difficulties, Burnett was a bright and creative child who loved to perform. As a teenager, Burnett worked odd jobs to support herself and her family, including working as an usherette in a movie theater. She also began performing in local theater and productions and won a scholarship to study theater at UCLA. Carol Burnett's career is an impressive one, spanning over 6 decades. She began her journey in entertainment as a young actress and comedian, performing on the stage. Thanks to a mystery man who gave Carol money to go pursue her career, and in return, he asked that instead of paying it back, that she would pay it forward. When her and her roommates weren't booking any gigs, they created their own show where they would invite agents. Well, it worked. In 1959, she landed her first major television role on The Gary Moore Show, where her comedic talent quickly became apparent. It wasn't long before she was given her own show, The Carol Burnett Show, which aired from 1967 to 1978 and remains one of the most iconic variety programs in TV history. Now, this is what I have to say. I think SNL would not have existed if it wasn't for Carol Burnett. How Carol got her show is quite remarkable, because when going over her contract with CBS, there was a clause that she took advantage of.
You're on the Gary Moore Show. You're doing terrifically. And CBS wants to lock you up. They sign you up for 10 years.
Yep.
And there's a clause in your contract
that said that if within the first 5 years I wanted to do an hour-long musical comedy review a week, CBS would have to put it on, whether they wanted to or not, for 30 shows.
Aside from her television work, Burnett also appeared in numerous films, including Annie and Noise Is Off. She has won 5 Golden Globe Awards for various projects throughout her career and has been honored with numerous other accolades, including a Kennedy Center honor. Throughout it all, Carol Burnett remained humble despite achieving great success. Her legacy continues to inspire many aspiring entertainers today who look up to her as a true pioneer in comedy. Her performances on stage were not only entertaining but also inspiring. Carol Burnett played the lead role of Princess Winifred the Woebegone in the original 1959 Broadway production of the musical Once Upon a Mattress. The show was a comedic retelling of the fairy tale The Princess and the Pea, and Burnett's performance received critical acclaim, launching her career as a Broadway and television star. Burnett's portrayal of Winifred was known for its physical comedy and strong singing voice. The role required Burnett to perform several energetic dance numbers and comedic scenes, as well as the show-stopping song Shy, which became one of her signature tunes. Once Upon a Mattress was a critical and commercial success, running for 244 performances on Broadway and earning a Tony Award nomination for Best Musical. Burnett's performances in the show helped establish her as one of the most talented and beloved performers of her generation. So let's go ahead and watch Carol perform Shy. What is going on is that princesses are coming to the kingdom and the queen does not want her son to marry any of the princesses. She is surprised that there is a princess coming and she has the bridges drawn up. This does not stop Princess Winifred because she swims the moat and comes out and is ready to, hey, let's meet the prince. Where could he be?
Hey, naughty, naughty, is it you? Hey, naughty, 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 no. Hey, naughty, naughty, is it you? Hey, naughty, 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 no. Hey, naughty, naughty, is it you? Or you, or you, or you, or naughty, no, nee, nee, nee.
I like to think that the prince is really shy and he's also taken aback by her boldness, her beauty, her, whatever it is. So he's kind of, about it. And then as you hear the queen go, no, no, no. Like, stay back.
Someone's being bashful. That's no way to be. Not with me. Can't you see?
Look at her.
I am just as embarrassed as you, and I can understand your point of view. I've always been shy.
So as you can see, this song is funny because it's contradicting, right? And like I said, I played this role and I've studied her and I was like, what can I put that is a piece of me within this role? And as I was doing it, what I liked to do was to get really quiet, to be as sincere as possible with it, to, go, I've always been shy, and then to really belt it as if giving a chance for everyone else to kind of lean in, wanting to know what I'm about to say, and then ultimately for them to go have a reaction to, that big belting note. I admire that they add wind to the people as if she sings so loud that it just caused a whole tornado.
Confident air is a mask that I wear 'cause I'm shy. And you may be sure, way down deep I'm demure. Most of people I know might deny it. At bottom I'm quiet and pure.
Obviously choreographed to the tens, man. It is just so well done as far as people framing her. Something I would say that I took, of course, I'm absolutely inspired by her. And then what I did to play the role was to, she does it where she goes, I'm quiet, which I think is classic Carol. But then to be this is Carolyn doing it, I think I did more of a growl. And again, I think what I like about this song is you can sing it very sincere and honest, which is the path I chose. And I do think that the path Carol chose is ain't this a great song? And it is a great song. And the way she just has a very strong voice doing it. And I was more playing with how soft can I go and to also allow, you know, anyone around me to have a reaction to things that I do in the song. So when I got to quiet, I did more of a growl sound, and to go, at bottom I'm quiet and pure, I'm aware that it's wrong. And then to, I don't know, like, I think the best way I can explain this character Winifred was being myself with a lot of caffeine and other supplements and stuff. And yeah, I feel like for anyone that does any of the songs from this show, like, let loose and let it go and just like, yeah, go big and have fun with, you know, it's not about just going big the whole time, but have fun of being able to retract things so that you could go, you know, with a shablam. And yeah.
I'm aware that it's wrong to be meek.
This is so 60s.
My chances may pass me by. I pretend to be strong.
It's ridiculous.
All I can do is try. God knows I try. Though I'm frightened and shy. And despite the impression I give, I confess that I'm living a lie. Because I'm
Because
terribly timid and horribly.
you know what? Not gonna lie, I definitely stole that from her when I did it. Because I'm actually terribly and horrible. Again, I would add the growl, horribly shy, which I think I purposely decided to make that shy very pretty because, again, I guess I was like thinking of how to play with it, and then the people around it where it's like, oh gosh, she's gonna belt it again, only for it to be now in this, because this is the 1972 version. This is it's a bit different than what was on stage. So I think they added more of like the song. It's so 70s and like, ain't it like rich man, so groovy. And I'm into it. I'm like, heck yeah. And I love what they did as far as the choreography. And I'm jealous because that's not what we had. I think that the choreographer we had was very lazy and everyone just kind of, I think how I felt about it was that it almost put everything on me versus let it be like a really like good group scene. And it's like I'm only as good as, you know, the people around me. And yeah, I think my high school was lazy as heck.
Not I, sir.
Hang on, sir. We're
Sir and when, sir.
I couldn't pretend, sir, so let's get this done, man. Get off with the fun, man.
Love that.
I am one man.
Yes. Oh, so shy. You know, my love for her, the contradiction within the song, and then also the different levels that you can play it. And my hero. Okay, so hold on. This is going to be random, but she actually was able to do Once Upon a Mattress again, but not as Princess Winifred, but as the Queen. And there's one section that will be in my memory for the rest of time. Yes.
Now I'll be happily happy. Yes, happily happy. And thoroughly
If this does not convince you that she is the queen, I don't know what will. Like, so now we're here and I'm going to share my story about Carol Burnett and how, you know, people say don't meet your heroes. Well, I did, and I'm happy. Let me just like explain what Carol is to me. Carol Burnett is my Jimmy Stewart. And if you don't know what that means, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip.
You have a favorite performer, and the guy's been here every week with his piano, and you've never let him on the show. And I think at this time, since it's the last show and everything, I'd like to take the opportunity to give the guy a break. So, do you mind? Excuse me.
When he fires that gun, so the western folks all know that he's an highfalutin, rootin', tootin' son of a gun from Arizona. Ragtime cowboy, talk about your cowboy, ragtime cowboy Joe.
You don't know what this means to me tonight. This man has been my favorite actor for so many years. I have talked about him. I have worshipped him. I can't believe that you...
So yes, as you have heard me say over and over, her birthday is April 26th, and my birthday is April 30th. Well, I was in a performing arts school in Hollywood, and there was something happening on my birthday in Hollywood with Carol Burnett. So my aunt heard about this and told my mom, and as a birthday gift, my mom got us tickets. I don't know why I was so confident back in the day, or for some reason, I just had this feeling of I'm going to meet her. So I had a whole letter written out of pretty much like how much she means to me and how she was there for me without knowing it, right? And it was just this, it was a big old love letter. And my brothers, I forgot which one, but he created a DVD with me singing the three big songs that Winifred sings from Once Upon a Mattress and stuff, right? Like, I don't know what I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, here's a DVD of me, girl, cool. And I went to the event, and so I'm there, and all of a sudden I see sort of like a bright, true peach color go by, and almost like Kristen Bell, you know what I mean? Where she was like, there's a sloth here or something like that. That's how I got, knowing I was like, Carol's here. Her presence is known and I feel it. And I don't know what got into me, but all of a sudden I just felt this like, and we go. So I went up to her and I said, happy birthday, Carol. And by the way, it's my birthday. And without any hesitation, she just went, oh, happy birthday, and gave me a hug. And I gave her the envelope that had the DVD and a letter, right? So already meeting her that way, that was everything to me. That all happens. I get a book of hers that's like signed because her book was coming out during that time. There was a lot of stuff happening, right? And so I pretty much got in the car and I cried because she was just so wonderful. It was everything I ever wanted. Now you would think the story is done, right? The end. No. The story was personal to me, and I didn't really share it with a lot of people because it was mine. But it was shared with others, and even people, in my high school heard about it, of like, oh, she met Carol, and yeah. My teacher then reaches out and says, hey, I think Carol Burnett was talking about you on the radio based on your story. So I go and I listen to this like little clip of her saying, oh, yes, I met this girl and she was in, Once Upon a Mattress, yada, yada. And she goes, oh, and she was good. And I just was like, oh my gosh, she actually went and watched my video. And it was a great segue in the radio interview because she then talks about Vicki Lawrence and how Vicki Lawrence, who is on, Carol Burnett show, she's also, because of the Carol Burnett show, it actually created Mama's Family. And Vicki wrote a letter to Carol saying, a lot of people say like I'm really good and also that I look like you. So Carol actually went to a performance of hers and then said, hey, I want to give you a chance. Why don't you come and play on the show with us? And yeah, there we go. So my story with her that just happened then gets Carol to talk about, how she now pays it forward, and also, trying to keep women in entertainment and keep going and things like that. So yeah, you would think that's it, right, Carolyn? There's no more, right? Well, I was at my house. I think I was in my dad's office, and I had a flip phone. And all of a sudden, I see a block number is calling me. And I knew right then and there, like, it's her. Like, I don't know why. Like, I was like, it's her. And I was like, okay. So I pick up the phone, and I'm like, hi. And I hear, hi, is this Carolyn? It's Carol. And I was so... And she gave me advice that it's always this part that's hard to talk about. And she gave me advice, and I will share that with you. And I think why it's so hard for me to share it is, So yeah, she gives me advice. And before I share that with you is, I think the reason why I always get choked up thinking about it is because the advice she gave me then, I remember thinking like, this is great. And then something happened in my life, and I just didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to put myself out there anymore. And I felt like a huge piece of me just kind of like disappeared. And it wasn't until I kind of like started this channel and talked about musicals that I was like, oh, I feel like I'm becoming myself again. And listen, let me be fully transparent here. My dream growing up was to have my own sitcom similar to Lucille Ball, or have my own variety show like Carol Burnett. And like, I think the obvious is that those things don't really exist anymore, right? You know? And so it's almost as if that type of dream for myself was gone. Even a month ago, I was talking to my aunt, like a different aunt, and I was saying like, yeah, these used to be my dream, but that dream can't exist anymore based on what the, as far as entertainment has gone to and stuff. And I also said to her, like, I feel like if Carol saw me, she would be so disappointed. And my aunt said something. She goes, well, you know what? Funny enough, in a way, you kind of have your own show. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And so the big advice that Carol said to me on the phone was, keep the fire in the belly. I know, you would think it would be something way prettier, right? And what the point of her saying keep the fire in the belly is that whatever you're passionate about, it all comes from within, and just keep going. And I think at that age, I didn't really understand that. I just thought, all right, that's easy to remember. Cool. Like, I'm so happy. Like, she really likes my stuff. And hey, maybe I do have like what it takes to go out there and whatever. So yeah, I guess that advice she gave me, I just kind of want to send it back to you. If there is something that you dream about and you're passionate about, don't stop and don't extinguish it. And don't let it be yourself that, extinguishes that love and passion inside of you. Because listen, if my own hero said all the things I wanted to hear, and I still felt the need to kind of like go away and disappear and stuff, it cannot come from anyone else, and it can only come from you. And I mean, listen, maybe keep the fire in the belly isn't the thing that truly inspires you, or for some reason you feel like you need permission from someone else to go, talk about and do the thing that you love. And I just hope that this episode helps. I don't know. This episode really was just supposed to be me talking about Carol and my love for her, and how what she said to me meant a lot. It may not have resonated during that time, but it resonates now. And yeah, also, I think I'm going to use this video that if anyone wants to hear my Carol Burnett story, I'm just going to be like, watch this episode, because clearly I cannot talk about it in person. But yeah, so I'm just going to end the episode here. I'm sure there's more I wanted to say, but I think this is too much. Okay. Also, hold on. I got to get it together. Anyways, there is one thing I know I can do for Carol. She has a whole campaign about the Majestic Theater. and that they need to change their name for Harold Prince, and I think rightfully so. If you don't know who Harold Prince is, Harold Prince is, or Hal Prince. He's known for directing so many phenomenal Broadway musicals. I think at one point Broadway had like 6 shows going and he directed all of them. Like, it's pretty crazy. But most notably, like the show Phantom, which was at the Majestic Theater. So in true Carol Burnett fashion, I just want to say that the Majestic is fit for a prince. And happy birthday, Carol. I love you like nobody's business. And yeah, and I think there's a lot of love to share for her and stuff. Listen, I know I'm not the only like Carol Burnett fan. If you are, let me know, what was it about her that you fell in love with? Was it like her shows, a movie, whatever it is? I can talk about her all day, but I clearly cannot share my story with her anymore. I'm done. Anyways, darlings, that's it for today's episode. Oh my gosh, like, get it together. Anyways, that's it for today's episode. Take care of your dream, of yourself. Just take care, darling. And yeah.
Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes a time we have to say so long. Good night. Thank you.